am today back in the studio. Just thought I'd come and check it out, see how it's doing, and also because the weather's a little bit too rubbish for any outdoor views. It's not going to stop us having a really fiery summer practice, but just remembering at all times you can drop onto your knees for an alternative option, come into child's pose. So just take this practice just working within your own limitations. Going to begin in bridge pose. So come to lie on your back, feet to standing, hands either side of the hips. So just making sure the thighs are parallel. And just close your eyes for a moment. Just to tune into the breath. Just noticing the rise and fall of the chest as you breathe in and breathe out. Begin to deepen the breath. Lengthen your inhale. And lengthen your exhale. Breathing into both sides of the ribcage. Allowing it to expand. And just leaving any thoughts, any troubles, any worries to one side for now. Just using this time for you. Building up strength in the body. And also strength in the mind. And just continuing with that breath, you're going to press into the feet. And begin to lift the hips up towards the ceiling, creating a straight line from knees to shoulders. As you breathe out vertebrae by vertebrae slowly, lower the back down towards the mat. Tailbone comes down flat. And again, roll through the spine, hips come up towards the ceiling. Maybe gently opening through the chest. And exhaling to slowly roll the back down towards the mat. And again, beginning to engage through the thighs as you slowly lift the hips up. And then exhale as you lower back down. 2 more inhaling, slowly rolling up. Maybe getting a little bit more of an arch through the chest. And then exhale as you begin to lower the back down towards the mat. And again, inhaling, rising up. And this time you're going to hold it here. Press into the balls of the feet, lift the heels off the mats. Noticing how your quadriceps really have to switch on, how the hamstrings have to switch on, and how the glutes have to switch on to keep your hips lifted. Slowly lower the heels down, but keep the hips off the mat. And rise the right foot up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, lower the hips down towards the mat. Inhale, lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Keeping this right leg lifted, exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. And inhale. 2 more times, exhaling, try to flex that right foot. Inhale to lift your hips up. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale, lower the hips down, then lower the right foot all the way down onto the mat, keeping the left foot to standing. Slowly roll the back off the mat. And allow the left knee to come down onto the mat, placing the left foot to the inner thigh. So coming into Janushavasana A. Inhale, rise fingertips up towards the ceiling. And exhale to begin to fold from the hips, taking the hands towards the right foot. So just mindfully sending the left knee towards the mat. Opening through the hip and at the same time stretching through the whole back of the body. Lengthening through the right hamstring. And just using every breath to take the chest closer towards the thigh. Inhale as you slowly uncurl the spine, coming back to the center. Place the left hand down onto the mat. You're going to roll over onto the left shin. Lift the hips up and take the right arm overhead as you come into a gentle back bend. Continuing to draw the hips forward. And then exhale to slowly lower the hips back down. Swivel the chest towards the center. Come onto the sole of the left foot. Bend the right knee, placing both feet to standing. And I want you to slowly roll the back down towards the mat for 10. So counting with me, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering the back all the way down. Taking hands either side of the hips. Inhaling, rising the hips up towards the ceiling. And then left foot comes all the way up. Making sure you're engaging through the fat of the thigh and flexing the foot. Exhale, lower the hips down. Inhale, lift up. Exhaling, lowering. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, engaging through the thigh, engaging through the glutes. Inhale to lift. Exhale. And inhale. One more exhale. And inhale. Lower the hips down. And then lower the foot down. Slowly uncurl the spine. Lifting the back off the mat. Take the right knee towards the mat, coming into Janusashasana on the other side. So making sure your hips are square. Inhale to lift fingertips up towards the ceiling. And exhale to fold from the hips. Chest comes towards the thigh. Nose comes towards the knee. And just taking a couple of breaths here, stretching through the side body. Opening through the hip. And releasing through the hamstring. One more inhale to create more length. And one more exhale to just sink into that space. Uncurl the spine. Place the right hand onto the mat, begin to lift the hips. And take left arm overhead, opening through the chest. Exhale to lower the hips back down towards the mat. Bring the right foot to standing. Bring the left foot to standing. And just very, very slowly 10. Lower the back down towards the mat. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take the arms overhead. And then draw the knees in towards the chest. Just rocking from side to side. And place the hands to the backs of the thighs. And just begin to roll through the spine. Making sure you're really arching the spine to get into the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back. One more time. And then come to balance on your sit bones. Holding it here. Lifting through the chest. And then release the feet down onto the mat. So we're going to come into reverse tabletop. So place the hands onto the mat, a couple of inches behind the sit bones, making sure the fingertips are facing forwards. Making sure feet are hip distance apart. Taking one big inhale, you're going to press into the hands and lift the hips up towards the ceiling. So coming in to that reverse tabletop position. Tucking the chin in towards the chest. And then as you exhale, you're going to begin to straighten the legs, come onto the heels, but keep the hips lifted. And then inhale, bending into the knees, placing the feet onto the mat and come into reverse tabletop. And again, exhale, legs straighten, but keep those hips lifted off the mat. And then inhale, rising the hips back up towards the ceiling. And again, exhale. And inhale. 2 more times, exhaling, straightening the legs. Inhale, reverse tabletop, feeling your core switching on. Exhale. And inhale. Now begin to walk the feet forward, coming into a reverse plank. So legs are straight now, keeping the chin tucked in towards the chest. Hips are lifted. So imagining a straight line from the fingertips to the shoulders. Just another couple of breaths here, working on engaging through the thighs. And then begin to slowly lower the hips down towards the mat. Inhaling, reaching fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then exhale as you begin to fold from the hips, coming into Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. So thinking about this folding from the hips, rather than arching through the back, keeping the length through the spine. And just slowly surrendering the chest towards the thighs. And then just inhale slowly, coming out of that. Crossing the feet, placing the hands down onto the mat, and stepping back into plank. As you exhale, lower the chest all the way down onto the mat. Bhujangasana, cobra, hands below the shoulders, elbows tucked in towards the chest. Press into the hands and lift the chest, making sure you're engaging your core, protecting your lower back. Exhale, Balasana, child's pose, big toes together, sit bones towards the heels. Inhale as you roll through the spine, coming back into a gentle upward facing dog. And then exhale, finding yourself back in Balasana, child's pose. And again, inhale, almost coming into cat first, before dropping the hips and lifting the gaze up. And then exhale, back into your child's pose. And then make your way into all fours. Tuck the toes under. Lift the knees a couple of inches off the mat and hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then straighten the legs, downward facing dog. And just staying here for a couple of breaths. Just working on releasing through the back body. Maybe pedaling through the feet. Maybe swing the head from side to side. Just doing whatever your body needs. And then from here, you're going to lower onto the forearms and come into dolphin. Walking your feet slightly closer towards the elbows. Sinking the heels towards the mat. Inhaling, rising up onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, lower the heels back down. And again, inhale, rise up onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, lower the heels down, press into the hands, straighten the arms, downward facing dog. Shift forward into a plank. And then come onto Vasisthasana, side plank on the right side. So roll over onto the outside of the right foot, inside of the left foot. Left hand comes up towards the ceiling, holding it here. Really trying to lift the hips up. Working the obliques. And then lower the right shin down onto the mat for a modified side plank. Take the left heel towards the buttock and take your hand around the inside edge of the foot. You're going to press the foot into the hand to open through the chest. Stretching through the quadricep. Trying to get a nice arch through the back as you peel the left shoulder back. Maybe gazing up towards the ceiling if your balance allows it. And then slowly release the left hand down onto the mat, but keep the left leg lifted. Swivel onto the right shin. Extend the left leg behind. Take the right hand out in front. Draw elbow in towards the knee. Extend out in front. Draw elbow back in towards the knee. Extending out in front. Drawing in. Lengthening out to the front. Release the left hand down onto the mat, but keep right hand down onto the mat, but keep the left leg lifted. From here, you're going to tuck the right toes under, lift the knee about an inch off the mat. Holding it here. Strengthening through the core. Left knee comes in towards the chest. Lengthen the foot behind. Draw the knee in. Lengthen it behind. Making sure you're using your breath, so inhale to draw the knee in. Exhale to lengthen behind. 2 more inhale. And exhale. 1 more inhale. And exhale. Press into the hands, 3-legged downward dog. Left foot comes up towards the ceiling. Coming into wild thing, so take the left foot down onto the floor. Roll over onto the right shin, hips come up, left hand comes behind. Pressing into the right hand. Opening through the chest. Release the left hand down onto the mat. Swivel on the ball of the right foot, lift the left foot up, 3-legged downward dog. Take the shoulders above the wrists, keeping that leg lifted. 1-legged plank. Draw the knee in towards the chest. And step the foot through between the hands. Press into the feet, rise up into a high lunge. And just taking a moment here, finding your stability. Palms are facing inwards. So you're going to bend the left elbow, taking the hand in between the shoulders, and take the right hand on top of the elbow. Taking a moment to stretch through the tricep, keeping the chest lifted. Now either staying here or coming into full Gomukhasana, arms extending the right hand out to the side, internally rotating through the shoulder and taking hold of your hand. Pointing the left elbow up towards the ceiling. Opening through the chest. Just a couple breaths here. Keep sinking down into the front knee. Keep activating through the back leg. Release the hand fingertips up towards the ceiling. And exhale, hands come either side of the foot. Step back into plank. And lower the chest all the way down onto the mat. Hands below the shoulders. Bhujangasana, inhaling, lifting the chest off the mat. Exhale, Balasana, sit bones come towards the heels. Inhale, ripple through the spine. Drop the hips. Lift the gaze up. And then exhale, finding your child's pose one more time. Inhaling, coming into a gentle upward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose. And then come into all fours. Tuck the toes under. Lifting the knees a couple of inches off the mat, holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs, downward facing dog. You can even just take a big exhale out through the mouth here. Before coming into dolphin, so lowering the forearms down onto the mat. Walking the feet forward slightly. Inhale, come up onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, sink the heels down towards the mat. Inhale, rise up onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, sink the heels down. Press into the hands, straighten the arms, downward facing dog. Shoulders come above the wrists as you come into plank. Finding your side plank on the other side. Lifting the right hand up towards the ceiling. Lifting through your hips. Holding it here. Obliques are switching on. And then release the left shin down onto the mat for a modified side plank. Bend the right knee, heel to the buttock. Wrapping your hand around the inside of the foot. Draw that knee back as you open through the chest. Spinning the chest up towards the ceiling. Just a couple breaths here. Feeling that stretch in the quadricep. And then keeping that right foot lifted. Release the right hand down onto the mat. And swivel on the left knee. Extend the left hand out in front. Elbow, knee come in together. Extend out in front. And then draw inwards. And again, lengthen away. And then draw in. Lengthen away, release the left hand down onto the mat. Keep that right leg lifted. Tuck the left toes under. Knee comes off the mat. Holding it here, finding your stability, switching on the core. Draw knee in towards the chest. Lengthen behind. And draw in. And out. And again in. And out 2 more times, inhaling in. And out. And again in. And out. Press into the hands, send the right foot up towards the ceiling, 3-legged downward dog. Wild thing, foot comes onto the floor. Lift the hips up towards the ceiling, take the arm overhead. Creating a lovely arch through the back. Release the right hand down onto the mat. Swivel on the ball of the foot. Coming into a 1-legged plank. Knee comes in towards the chest. Foot comes through between the hands. Press into the feet, rise up into your high lunge. And then place the right hand in between the shoulders. Left hand comes onto the elbow. And just stretch through the tricep. Chest nice and open. Sink down into the front knee. So the knee should be directly above the ankle. Back thighs engaged. And try not to grip on with your toes. Staying here or coming into Gomukhasana. Hands come together, creating a bind. And pointing the elbow up towards the ceiling. And just holding it here. Opening through the shoulders. Stretching through the tricep. And releasing the hands, fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, releasing them either side of the front foot. And then from here, just step forward. Coming into Uttanasana. Inhale, slowly rise up to standing. Arms overhead. palms together. Take the thumbs to heart center. And then from here, we're going to balance on the right foot. Coming into a variation of warrior 3, so begin to extend the left leg behind. Now either flexing or pointing the foot, just making sure that foot has an ending and really engaging through the thigh. As you exhale, bend into the right knee. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend into the knee. Inhale, straighten the leg. And again, exhale. And inhale. Release the hands down onto the mat. Preparing for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So you're going to take the right hand to the corner of the mat and then begin to peel the hip open. Taking the left hand up towards the ceiling if your balance allows it. If not, just keep the hand down onto the mat. So we're trying to keep the back leg straight and open through the chest, stacking the hips on top of one another, and then lengthen the left hand towards the front of the mat. Bend the knee, taking elbow and knee in together, and then lengthen back out in front. Elbow and knee come in together, and then lengthen out in front. One more time, draw in, and then draw out. Slowly bend down into the right knee. Place the left foot to the back of the mat, windmilling your arms to shoulder height and come into Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Sinking down into your front knee. Take the arms overhead. Take hands to opposite elbows and peel your hands back to open through the shoulders. Once again, stretching through the triceps. Exhale, elbow comes towards the knee. Inhale, lift the chest to the center. Exhale, fold from the side of your head. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. And inhale. Release the arms back to shoulder height. Shanti Virabhadrasana, peaceful warrior. Left hand slides down the leg. Right hand comes up towards the ceiling. Stretch through the side body. Inhale, arms to shoulder height. Exhaling, elbow onto the thigh, easy, extended side angle. Inhaling back into Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, back to arms to shoulder height. Lengthen the right hand out towards the front of the mat. Place it to the inside of the right foot and rotate through the shoulder. So the fingertips are facing forward. Bicep comes towards the ear. Open through the chest. And just taking a moment here, making sure you're pressing into the outside of the foot. Lifting up into the arch. Lifting up into the thigh. Release the left hand down onto the mat, swivel on the ball of the back foot. Right hand comes up towards the ceiling, opening through the chest as we come into a twisted runner's lunge. Now you're going to draw the right elbow in towards the left knee. And then open back out, foot comes down onto the mat. Inhale, draw inwards. Exhale, open out. One more inhale. And exhale. Then from here, just walk the right foot towards the outside of the mat. Drop the back knee down. Release the hand to the inside of the foot just for a moment. Slowly beginning to bend the elbows as you take the forearms down towards the mat, coming into lizard pose. Opening out through the front of the hip. Maybe stretching through the quadricep. Place the hands back below the shoulders, straighten the arms. Take the left hand a little bit out to the side here. Press into that hand as you take the right hand up towards the ceiling. Then begin to draw the heel towards the buttock. If you can, grab hold of the foot and open through the chest. Spinning the shoulder up towards the ceiling, spinning the chest up towards the ceiling. And at the same time, creating more length, creating more of a stretch through the quads. Gaze down towards the mat. Slowly release the foot. Take the right hand to the inside of the foot. And then lift the knee off the mat. Step the left foot to the outside of the left hand, sink down into Malasana, low yogic squat. Elbows to the inside of the knees, palms together, and just rock from side to side. Taking a couple of breaths here. Release the hands down onto the mat. Straighten the legs. Shuffle the feet in together, coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. And either staying in this forward fold, or your option here to practice your Vinyasa crow pose, so hands on the mat. Bend the knees, bend the elbows, taking the knees to the tops of the arms, allowing the knees to press into the arms and lift the feet off the mat, arching through the back, engaging through the core, really pressing into the hands and release the feet down, straighten the legs, shuffle the feet in together, and just take an exhale here, even sighing out through the mouth. Inhale, slowly uncurl the spine, arms overhead, palms come together, and then take the thumbs to heart center. All of the weight shifts into the left foot, right leg extends back, finding Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Making sure your hips are facing down towards the mat. So imagining you've got headlights here. Your chest is facing towards the mat. You're lifting up into the arch of the foot. Exhale to bend into the knee. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend into the knee. Inhale, straighten the leg. One more time, exhale. And inhale. Hands release down onto the mat. Taking the left hand to the corner of the mat, then peel your hip open. Option of taking the right hand up towards the ceiling. Flexing the right foot. Engaging through both thighs. Ardha Chandrasana. Now take the right arm overhead. Bicep comes towards the ear. Elbow and knee come in together. And then open out. Draw inwards. And open out. One more time, draw in. Open out. Slowly begin to bend into the left knee. Release the right foot to the back of the mat, spinning the arms to shoulder height. Coming into Virabhadrasana 2. Making sure you're peeling that knee open. Then take the arms overhead. Hands to opposite elbows. Peel the elbows back. This time option of coming onto the heel. Draw the elbow to knee. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. One more time, exhale. And inhale. Release the heel down if it was off the mat. Arms back to shoulder height. Shanti Virabhadrasana and exhale. Inhale to the center. Exhale into your side angle pose. Inhale to the center. Exhale, Shanti Virabhadrasana, Peaceful Warrior. Inhale to the center. Lengthen the hand out towards the front of the room. Place the left hand to the inside of the foot. Rotate all the way through the shoulder. Right hand comes forward. Utthita Parasvakonasana. Thinking about spinning the bottom side of the rib cage forward. Lifting up into the arch of the back foot. Really activating through that leg. Creating as much space as you can through the side body. Release the right hand down onto the mat. Swivel on the ball of the left foot. Left hand comes up towards the ceiling, twisted runner's lunge. Then draw elbow into the knee. Open out. Elbow into knee. Open out. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Begin to walk the left foot to the outside of the mat. Release the hand down, release the knee down. Lizard pose, bending the elbows, forearms come towards the mat. And open through the hip. Just a couple of breaths here. Getting into the front of the hip. Place the hands below the shoulders, straighten the arms. Take the right hand further out to the sides. Extend the left hand up towards the ceiling, open through the chest. And take it to the back of the room. Option of taking the heel towards the buttock and wrapping your hand around the pinky toe edge of the foot. Spinning the chest up towards the ceiling. Trying to draw the right shoulder away from the ear. Gaze down towards the mat. Slowly release the foot, release the hand. Place the hands back to shoulder height. Back knee comes off the mat, hop forward into Balasana, low yogic squat. Elbows to the inside of the knees, palms together, lift through the chest. Place the hands on the mat, either jumping or stepping back into plank. And then lower the chest all the way down onto the mat. We're going to take your hands back here, palms spinning in towards each other. into locust pose. So taking an inhale, you're going to balance on your pubic bone as you lift the chest and the legs off the mat. Maybe inhaling, lifting slightly higher. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Inhaling again, locust, lifting the chest off the mat. And then exhale to lower down. Option of repeating this one more time, or coming into bow pose, so taking the heels towards the buttock, wrapping the hands around the ankles. So making sure you're flexing your feet here, so you're creating a hook. Making sure the thighs are engaged and the thighs stay parallel. Take one big exhale here. And then on your next inhale, you're going to lift the chest off the mat. So internally rotating through the shoulders. So your hands come back, arching through the back. Making sure you're engaging your core, protecting your lower back. Exhale to slowly release down. Just creating a pillow underneath your head. Resting your head in your hands. And just drop the hips from side to side. Place the hands below the shoulders. Come into Balasana, child's pose. Just taking a moment here, releasing through the lower back. And then inhaling, coming into all fours. Tuck the toes under. Straighten the legs, downward facing dog. Lifting the gaze, bending the knees. Come through to the front of the mat. Exhale into a forward fold. And then bend the knees, coming into Utkatasana, chair pose. Take the torso so that it's parallel with the mat. Option of lifting the heels. So the bicep should be at the ears. The palms should be spinning inwards. And then slowly begin to lower the hips all the way down onto the mat. Take the hands down onto the mat. And counting to lower your back down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So coming into bridge pose here, placing feet hip distance apart, making sure the thighs are parallel, hands either side of the hips. Just take a big exhale out through the mouth. On your next inhalation, press into the feet and lift the hips. Clasp the hands underneath your sacrum. Walk the shoulders in together and lift the hips up. So again, continuing to make sure the thighs are parallel. Lifting the hips up as high as you can and creating a nice arch through the back, opening through the heart. Release the hands. And vertebrae by vertebrae, lower the back down towards the mat, tailbone last. So you're either going to repeat this one more time, or you're going to come into full Urdhva Dhanurasana, wheel pose. So we're going to take the hands up towards the ceiling if you're following me for wheel, if not, coming into another bridge. Placing the hands to the shoulders, so the fingertips are facing towards your shoulders, elbows are facing up towards the ceiling, and making sure here that the triceps are parallel, elbows are pointing up. And again, making sure your thighs are parallel. Take one big exhale out through the mouth. And then on your next inhalation, you're going to press into the hands and feet and lift the hips up towards the ceiling. So continuing to make sure thighs are parallel, knees are facing forward, creating this nice arch through the back. Making sure the fingertips are facing towards your feet. Pressing into the hands as much as you can, trying to create that nice lift. I'm going to hold this here for 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. And then on your next breath out, you're just going to very, very slowly lower your head down. And then very slowly lower the back down. And draw the knees in towards the chest. Clasping the hands around the shin. So if you're in bridge pose, lower the back down onto the mat. Draw your knees in towards your chest and gently rock from side to side. And just taking a moment here. Even closing your eyes. And just releasing the feet down onto the mat. Just going to finish by working into the glutes with a upside down pigeon. So you're going to draw the right knee in towards your chest. Place the ankle to the top of the left thigh, making sure your foot is flexed to protect your knee. Lift the chest for a moment as you take hold of the back of the thigh or your shin. Slowly lower the chest back down onto the mat. Release the head onto the mat. Bending your elbows, taking the elbows to opposite directions. Just using that as purchase to draw the knees closer towards your chest. Feeling that release through the glutes. Release the hands, release the left foot down onto the mat, but keeping the right foot where it is. Slowly lower the knee over to the left side, so the right foot comes down onto the mat. You can even gaze over the right shoulder, keeping your right knee pointing up towards the ceiling. Feeling the stretch through the outer edge of the hip. And then come back to the center. And release the right foot down onto the mat. Left knee comes in towards the chest. Placing the ankle on top of the thigh. Flexing the left foot. Lifting the shoulders for a moment. Taking your hands around the shin or the thigh. And releasing the back down onto the mat. You might have one side that's more open and another. You might be able to take your hands to the shin in one side and the thigh in the other. That's absolutely fine, just working with those irregularities in the body, working on creating more openness in the areas that are more tight. Bending the elbows further maybe. Keeping the shin parallel with the chest. And release the hands, release the right foot down onto the mat. Slowly lower your knee over to the right and the foot onto the right. Maybe gazing over your left shoulder. And just taking a moment to work into the outer edge of the hip. Inhale, come back to the center. Release the left foot down onto the mat. Draw knees in towards the chest one more time. Roll over onto your side. And then come up to a seated position on the mat. Legs crossed. Close over your eyes. And release the hands on the thighs. So just allowing palms to face up towards the ceiling. Just creating this open gesture. And as you sit here, feel that heat, that energy radiating through the body. Acknowledging the fire in the body that you've created. Acknowledging this really strong but also really open feeling. Take the arms overhead, bring the palms together. Allow the thumbs to rest in the crown of the head. Take them between the eyebrows to the third eye and to the heart center. Gently bow your head. Om Shanti. And again, thank you all so much for practicing with me. Really missing all your faces, missing seeing everyone, but I'm hoping so much that we will be back here very, very soon.